Hi guys, I'm doing a quick video today again because you have 6 problems today, and some of them I think you guys know how to do these, you're just not sure how to get started. So I'm just going to go over real quick. We're not actually going to go over a whole bunch of problems. We're just going to talk about how you get started on each different problem. So we're going to start with number 1. Hopefully you have your book open to page 177 and you have your composition book and a pencil. If not, pause and go get it. The first one doesn't have anything to do with distance, speed, or time. So since we've been working with that this week, the distance, speed, or time triangle, we know we don't have to use that on this one because it doesn't really tell us the speed, the distance, and then ask us what the time. It just tells us how many balls. So I know in my head I'm going to need to write a bar model for number 1. Or remember, method 2 was if you'd rather use a fraction line. So I'm going to start with using a fraction line and then I'll go to a bar model just so that you guys remember how to do both, because you're going to need it for whatever problems don't have the distance, speed, and time. So a tennis ball machine launches 60 tennis balls in 12 minutes. So I'm going to write 12 bars and label 12 minutes. And so we'll go ahead and do this, 12 bars, and we'll do 12 minutes. So that means our total that we write up here would be 60 balls. And then remember, with every single one of these problems, other than the ones you can use the distance and time on, we need to find 1 unit rate. So since these are all representing minutes, then we're going to do how much is 1 minute? How many balls in 1 minute? And the way we do that is we say, okay, well, if this is 12 minutes, I need to take my 60 balls and divide it up into each of these minutes. So I would go 60 divided by 12, and that equals 5. So I know each of these units would be 5. So if each of these units are 5, then that means that 1 minute would be 5. So now if I know 1 minute, I can figure out my question, which is 2 hours. The only problem is this is in hours this time, and this time is in minutes. I need to make them the same. So I say how many hours is equal, or sorry, how many minutes is equal to 2 hours? How many minutes is equal to 2 hours, so that we're working with both minutes? And that is actually 120 minutes is equal to 2 hours. I'm going to move that over there. So if that's true, 120 minutes is equal to 2 hours, I can say, well, if 1 minute is 5 balls, then I say, well, how much is 120? Oh, all I have to do is go 5 120 times, which is the same as 5 over 100 or times 120. And if I do that, it equals 600 once you do the math. So if you want to use the bar model way, that's how you would do it. If you want to use the fraction way, we're going to do it like this. The first information they give me is, I'm going to put balls up here and hours down here, and I'm going to say an equivalent fraction, 60 balls. And actually, because it's not hours, I'm sorry, that was minutes. Hopefully you caught my mistake before I did. And it's going to say 12 minutes is 60 balls. So over here it's saying, well, how many for 2 hours now? Well, I need to make that into minutes, which we found out before is 120 minutes. So now here's my missing number. What did I do to 12 to get to 120? And I can figure that out by saying, okay, if I take 120 and divide it by 12, it's going to equal 10. So if I know that this is 10, then I know, okay, in 120 minutes, there will be 10 balls. Or I'm sorry, because 12 into 120, I had to divide and it equals 10. So I know 12 times 10 is equal to 120. So whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do top. Sorry, I messed you up by saying that was your answer. I meant it's your answer down here. So If I do 12 times 20, it equals 120, or times 10, it equals 120. I'm really messing you guys up today. So I have to do that to the top, and that equals 60 times 10 is 600. And so that is how much? 600 balls in 120 minutes. So my answer would be 600 balls can be launched in 2 hours. Make sure you label it. So hopefully that helps you. You can either do the fraction model, but remember, either way, you need to break it down to a unit rate, which, remember, a unit rate is where one of the sides is 1. So hopefully that helps. So this one, water faucet flows, this you're going to break down to a unit rate, whether you use the fraction or the bar model way, whatever works best for you. Once you break it down to 1 unit rate, you can figure out how many the 45 will be. Here is the same on number 3. There's no, this says there are 1,600 kilocalories. That's not speed, distance, or time, so I know I'm going to need to either do a bar model or, if I prefer, my fraction model. And the table shows a postal charge for sending letters to country Y. How much does it cost? That is not, again, distance, speed, and time, so I'm going to have to do either a bar model or a fraction model. And the next one, a vehicle traveled at a speed, ding, 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 speed, right here in our speed triangle. We know we can now travel a speed of 54 kilometers in 3 hours. That's a time, so it's asking me to find the distance. I cover up my distance right here, and it tells me if they're side by side, I multiply. If they're on top, I divide. So I go speed, because it's asking me for the distance, I go speed times time for this one, and I use this. I don't need to use my bar model or my fraction model. I can just use this and do what it tells me to. And again, on number 6, sorry, I'm not able to show you that. Let me scoot this down a little bit. So it says a speed of 84. Yep, awesome. I know I can use my triangle here. And then how long does it take? Oh, in 1 hour. So that would be your time, 1 hour per hour. How long does it take to fly 7? So this one, you would need to figure out if it, this is kind of a tricky one because it does have kilometers and time, and it's saying the time is an hour, the kilometers are 84 kilometers, and that's its speed. Now it's saying how long does it take it to fly 7 kilometers. So it wants you to find the time for a different amount of kilometers. So this one you can actually break down to a unit rate and use your bar model, or this one, because it's not asking you to find, like on our triangle on number 6, it's not actually asking you to find your, sorry, I'm trying to get this all on the screen here. I'm going to back off so I can do that. It's not asking you to find your distance, speed, and or time. It's just repeating how long does it take to fly 7 kilometers if at the first it was 84. So you need to figure out, well, I need to break it down to 1 unit rate, and then if I use my fraction model, I break it down to 1 unit rate and then figure out what I can do to get it to 7. So you would have to use your bar model or your fraction to break it down to 1 unit rate, and then see what you could do to get it to kilometers. So hopefully that helps. Numbers 1 through 6 is, 1 through 7 is what you're doing. So number 7 will, real quick, she walks home from school at a speed of 5 kilometers. Takes 12 minutes, so we have a speed and a time. So you would use your speed, distance, time triangle, and it's asking the distance between her school and home. It gives you even a hint here. Make sure you convert the time from minutes to hours, because up here it was hours. Hopefully that helps. If you have any other questions, please let me know before tomorrow morning so I can do something to help you. Have a great night.